Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Jessica Nicole. I'm a self-published author of YA fantasy romance novels, and in today's video, let's tier rank some fantasy tropes. So for as far back as I can remember, I have loved fantasy. I love reading fantasy and I love writing fantasy, but that doesn't mean that I love everything about fantasy. So in Google Slides here, I've made a little tier ranking system, and I'm going to put these common fantasy tropes that I see all the time into 3 categories. Need it means I love it, I want to see more of it. Mid means it's okay, I don't hate it, but I don't love it, I could do without it. And then throw it away, it needs to go as soon as possible. So I'm going to start with reverse the curse. I love when there is like a time sensitive problem in a fantasy that needs to be solved. So a curse needs to be broken before this event happens, or we must figure out the mystery in this many days or this many hours. I just love this. I don't know. I think it makes the stakes so much higher, and it makes everything so much more interesting. It makes me kind of like lean into the story more. The chosen one trope, I have mixed feelings about. I understand how useful it can be and how necessary it can be at times, because how else is an author going to explain why it has to be this person that reverses the curse or wields the magic sword, or from this certain bloodline that needs to do this certain thing. I understand the necessity of it, and when it's done right, I think I don't mind it, but it can go really wrong really quick and just kind of feel like a cop-out. So that's why I'm putting it in mid. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. Something I do hate, though, is alpha holes. And so, let me see if it's going to let me move it. Yeah. Something I do hate is the alpha hole trope. And if you don't know, these are those overbearing guys that are just pushy and rude and just horrible for no reason, pretty much. Like the kind of guy that, I don't know, people think women want, but we really don't. Like, we run from these guys in real life, so I don't know why people keep writing them into books. But anyways, I cannot stand this trope. I like it. This is the quickest way to turn me off from a book. Like, I recently stopped reading a book just because I could not stand the male main character pushing the female main character around and basically treating her like a bird in a gilded cage or something. Like, I just, like, she could not think for herself, she could not act for herself, she could not speak for herself. It was just too much, and I DNF'd to that book. And that's the quickest way to get me to DNF your book. Like, write an alpha hole into it. Also, along those same lines, the pretty princess trope, like, it needs to go, you guys. It is 2023. We don't need the pretty princess trope anymore. And this is basically your quintessential damsel in distress who only exists to make the male main character seem heroic or something, and she's just basically useless otherwise. And I am so sick of reading these. I want to see a healthy relationship where the main characters are equals, or they are complementary to each other in some way. Otherwise, I don't want to read that romance. I don't want to go on that journey with them. I'm not interested. Like, I need them to both pull their own weight and be decent people. Otherwise, you can keep it. Star-crossed lovers, I love, and anti-heroes is already up here in needed, so I'll talk about both of them at the same time. I love these 2 tropes. Star-crossed lovers, I love the whole, like, Romeo and Juliet vibe. If a book can give me that vibe, I'm here for it. I love, this forbidden romance situation. and I will never get tired of reading it. I love a good anti-hero or an accidental hero, somebody that was never meant to be the hero, not interested in being the hero, but they're a good person at heart, or at least they're a decent person at heart, and they end up saving the day anyway, especially if it's like a thankless situation. I don't know why, that makes me love the character that much more. I don't know. But I love that trope. Would love to see more of it. The not like other girls trope, however, it can go somewhere and never return. First of all, it is okay to be like other girls. Like, it is okay to do things that are, seen as traditionally girly. You can still be the main character of a book. I don't understand where this came from or where this became aspirational for us, but no. People have layers, people are multifaceted, and, you know, I don't know why, like, grown adults that write these books don't understand that, but okay. And just a side note, if a guy only likes you, like, your only redeeming quality is that you're not like other girls, that's not good. And yeah, I don't like that trope. I don't like, the patriarchal undertones of it. Kind of trying to control how girls should behave or how we should see ourselves and things like that. So I don't like that. We can throw that out. Enemies to lovers, I love. Let me move the third act complication. I'm going to put this one in mid, though. Third act complication, putting it in mid because same thing with The Chosen One. When it's done right, I don't mind it. But when it's done wrong, it can be really bad and very frustrating for me to read, honestly. I understand that, we need to keep the story interesting. Like I said, I'm a writer too. And when you solve a problem, you kind of need to create another one to keep interest going, or, your reader's going to get bored. But when the complication is like could have been very easily solved, or it just feels like it comes out of left field, it can be frustrating. It can feel like you just, I know that you're just creating problems for the sake of problems. You know that, you're just creating, as a writer, you're just creating problems, for the sake of problems, for moving the plot forward. But your reader shouldn't feel like that. It shouldn't, your reader should always be immersed in what your story is about. So the third act complication can seem kind of clunky at times, is what I'm trying to say. So unless it's done right, I don't like it. So that's why it's mid, because sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. I don't love it, but I don't hate it either, and I understand the need for it. Fated mates. I'm gonna put in mid. I don't know. I don't hate fated mates. I keep saying the same thing over and over again with these mid ones. I don't hate it. What I don't like about it is I feel like when I'm reading it, I feel like I'm robbed of the falling in love portion of the romance. And that's part of fantasy romance. So I feel like I'm getting cheated a little bit out of the romance aspect of the book. I like it when it's good for the plot, I guess. When it moves the plot forward, there's something important about them being fated mates. Okay, I'll go along with it, but not crazy about it. So that's why it's in mid. And then enemies to lovers. Who doesn't love enemies to lovers? It's just probably my favorite trope. It just makes the romance so much more interesting, because romances can be kind of boring. It's why I don't read just like regular contemporary romances. I need something going on. I need some action happening. And enemies to lovers is the best in fantasy romance because the stakes can just be as high as you want them to be. And I love enemies to lovers. And then arranged marriage. Don't come for me, but I love the arranged marriage trope. I love the forced proximity situation that arranged marriage puts the characters in. I don't know, I just like it. I like what it does for the plot. I like what it does for the romance. It kind of creates like a slow burn situation, and as long as that slow burn doesn't go on forever, I'm totally fine with it. I like it. I'm sorry. Don't come for me. And this is my tier ranking of these 11 common fantasy tropes. Let me know if you agree with me. Let me know if you disagree with me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.